Good morning and welcome to Social Media Breakfast of Houston. Let's hear some noise. If you're not in the room, there's a breakfast here, so you're missing out in a big way. If you come late, you do have to sit in the front. Just joking. It's awesome. So I love it as the room fills up. Definitely come forward, and I'm very excited. We put onto your tables some things where you have to scan. There's a scanning thing, and it says if an attendance thing, if you could please scan that for me. This is a free event, but I need you to scan that because the grant is tied to how many people show up. So please scan it for me so I can keep offering you free breakfasts and things. I would really love that. Thank you so much for your help on that. I'm really excited today to have Jan-Luc here. So Jan is going to be, hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Excellent.
Are you, okay, make sure you talk to the mic so the people out in the...
Excellent.
There you go. Awesome. So Jan-Luc, you've been going around town. I've seen you like popping up literally everywhere to talk about soccer.
Yeah, there seems to be something going on with soccer.
Oh.
Or something is coming up.
Yeah.
Right? Have you heard about it?
I have. I've heard some things about it. My friends over at Houston Galveston Area Council were talking about a new app that they're putting out to help people with transportation around the city. So that's going to be helpful, right?
That would be a very good idea.
Good. Yes, I think so. I'll send you the link once I get it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I'll send it out to all of y'all. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting over the next couple of months. But we're talking about soccer, but we're also talking about technology, and soccer and technology together and social media all mixed up. So that's why I invited you, because I thought we need to talk about soccer if the World Cup is coming to Houston, right?
Yep.
Anybody like going to watch the World Cup? Okay, that was really quiet.
Yeah,
anybody to watch the World Cup? Thank you.
And,
my
and
gosh.
anybody cheering for the Netherlands? They're coming.
Also, there is free coffee. So if you're too tired to be, peppy this early in the morning, that's why we have the coffee. And Jan-Luc so nicely sponsored us this morning so that we did get that from him this morning. So please give him a hand and thank him for that. He didn't have to. He just wanted to. He wanted to throw it in. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about soccer. So what are you doing that you're so excited about on the technology side with this?
Well, so a little bit about soccer, right? I mean,
okay,
so
we can't just go past it.
A little bit, right? For anybody that doesn't know, I have to repeat it still many times. It's the biggest sporting event ever held on planet Earth, and we are going to be part of it. So that means that a lot of people are going to come to town. That means that there is content creation opportunity. That's where the immediate link is, right? That's where the link is to technology. We're going to get a ton of people from abroad. We're going to get local people, and we're going to get lots of celebrities. We're going to get all kind of famous soccer players, and they will probably, some of them in particular, are going to attract other celebrities. And that is, I think, a lot of opportunity for content creators. Besides the fact that there's going to be a lot of news, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to show. People are going to be enjoying themselves in all kind of ways. People are going to be cruising across this whole big area called the Greater Houston Metro Area. And that's also all content opportunity. And for content, you need a little bit of technology these days. So that's why we're sort of making that connection, right?
No, it's a great connection too. And I should have said Huya Morgan to you today. So, but yeah, we need to learn all of our hellos in all the different languages that are coming to town. So let's just talk about that for a minute. It also is an opportunity for people that do have business in town to get business.
Yes.
So let's talk about the business side of this real quick.
Oh, that's our favorite topic, right? So besides the fact that we're talking today about one of my clients, YourStoryz, I'm also leading Team Houston, and that's basically an effort to get the Houston business community awake and informed about the soccer opportunity. A lot of people are still not aware of everything that's coming, so we've been doing now for, I think, 15 plus months efforts to educate and inform people about how they can be involved. And you can be almost involved with like any business, right? I mean, one of the funniest examples was somebody that said, hey, I'm a mobile notary. How can I do business during the World Cup? Well, I'm sure somebody will want to sign a contract somewhere and it needs to be notarized. So, I mean, if you think about a business opportunity, it's probably there. We're going to get all kind of nationalities. So it's going to be translation. It's going to be transportation. It's going to be, of course, lots and lots and lots of food and beverages. But also new technology, right? So there's going to be tons of apps. There's going to be people who are coming up with probably all kind of AR, VR, whatever kind of ideas that we are going to be doing during those 39 days of World Cup.
Yeah, no, and just like I said, one of my clients is doing this app as well for transportation, which I think is really important. So much opportunity, and if you don't know what your opportunity is, we'll have questions at the end, and we will figure out your opportunity today if you don't have one in your mind. But there is opportunity. Nonprofits even have an opportunity to get their causes out there in certain ways. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's like we have created also for chambers of commerce and for companies all kind of documents, right? If you go to the team-houston.com website, where you can just see, I mean, 25 ideas on how to be involved, right? If you haven't figured it out yourself, we can help you figure it out. And that's also what we started to do now. We are helping companies literally create their soccer plan in order to get ready for the summer and beyond the summer, because there will be soccer after the World Cup as well, right?
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Tell them why. Tell them about soccer in the Houston area in general.
Well, Houston is one of the top soccer cities in the country, right? So we like to call it the soccer city. So we have over 3 million soccer fans here in the greater Houston metro area. So that means that you have even more day-to-day opportunity than there is in terms of the visiting opportunity. The visiting opportunity is projected at 500,000 people. That's a nice number, but if you think about it, we have 3 million soccer fans every day in this city. So if you're looking for a business opportunity, for example, a content creation opportunity, then it would be interesting to think about, where is the business today? How do I use the World Cup to accelerate? And then I continue afterwards, right? Because there is all kind of levels of soccer where you can create content.
Yeah, there is. And so let's get into that a little bit. So tell me about your client, why the person that came to you and why they came to you and what you're using this for. And we have YourStoryz here on the screen.
Yeah, so YourStoryz, no, maybe not a complete surprise, is a company from the Netherlands. So I represent companies from the Netherlands and sometimes other European countries that want to come to the United States. I have myself a background in some online video adventures, I would say. So I'm always very passionate about anything that relates to entertainment. And this one in particular is very interesting. So it's created by people who used to work in the newsroom, and they basically were seeing that it was very expensive, right? I mean, to put a news crew out, it's expensive, you're late, you're not there. Now, these days we all have these kind of things, right? And so we can see also every day that the news that we get, sometimes we get it from the mobile phone. And so what YourStoryz has done is basically created an application whereby you take the video that is on your phone and you make sure that it is branded. Now, you probably might not even know that you make sure that it is branded. What is happening nowadays, I mean, we take a video and we send it off to our dear friends at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, right? And we probably don't make money, right? We probably don't control the brand. We don't control the identity. So what happens with YourStory is basically any video that gets uploaded, if it is properly set up in the portal, we'll get a pre-roll, we'll get a post-roll, we'll get a lower third, and we'll get a logo. So for those of you who are in the video world, know all what that means, right? But basically, you give every video an identity. And that means that all the content that gets uploaded has, on the one hand, the authenticity, right? I mean, it's like, it's real, but at the same time, it's organized and it looks nice and it is branded. And then still you can send it on to all these wonderful networks, but you have put your little mark on it, right?
Yeah, so that's a lot of talking. So could you show it to us maybe? That might be a little bit easier to understand.
So of course. Yeah. So let's see how we do that here. I'm gonna go and let me just show it on my screen here. And then I'm gonna go project, hopefully, my mobile phone.
Yeah, let's hope it works. Let's hope it works. There it is.
Let's see here.
You got it. You're just gonna have to go down here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So basically, I mean, so this is the YourStoryz app. The YourStoryz app is in both app stores, right? Android.
Yeah, I did download it on Android, and I have uploaded a couple videos with it.
So you were very fast, and so basically,
early adopter here.
What we can do here, I don't know if everybody can see it, right? So I want to create a story, and I want to do that with some of the videos that are on my phone. These videos that I have today are somewhat soccer themed, and they're a little bit pre-created, but the whole idea is just to show you what is possible. Depending on the account that you have access to one channel or maybe many channels. And with each of these channels, I have these opportunities to put in pre-rolls and post-rolls. So if I go here to my favorite channel, Houston Soccer Stories, no surprise, then you'll see there's a little comment there that says something about pre-roll and post-roll. So I know if I'm going to upload here that there will be a pre-roll and a post-roll. In some cases, you can turn that off if you would want to, but then that defeats the purpose a little bit. So we're going to look for a video on my phone. And since we're talking soccer, so let's take this lady from Colombia, and so we're going to now basically get that video ready for upload. So it helps. Everything that happens now happens on the phone, so this does not happen in the cloud. It sends it to the cloud, and so what we're recommending is, of course, don't do 5-hour videos, right? I mean, you do short videos. This is all for short form video.
Short form video, right?
To go relatively fast. So here she is. This is Gabriella. So I can now do some editing. And what we envision with this application is that if you are a brand or if you are a news organization, you educate some people in your organization on how to operate this application. Because there are all kinds of editing options, but we try to keep it simple. And I try to keep it really simple. I only do one thing. I do an overlay, right? And that's about it. I mean, you can see here, I have a whole bunch of more options. I can do an overlay, I can trim the video, I can do a voiceover, I can mute it. So I can make edits of that video before I upload it, before I send it off to whoever is, let's say, the one who's going to receive it. Could be Coca-Cola, could be Univision, could be a news organization, could be anybody. I'm going to add an overlay and then have all kinds of options. I can play here with colors, with fonts, and so on. This is not my favorite part of the menu. This is my favorite part. Because what have we done? There's also a cloud platform here. That's where we are sending everything to. We have basically created a custom lower third. And what you can see here is by doing this lower third, now I have nicely formatted everything, Team Houston, it has the logo. And so since I'm doing this without glasses, I'm going to go say here, let's put in her name, right? Yep. And this is normally, this would be a title, and I can do, we're doing the usual test description. And now I can basically say, okay, the overlay is added. And you can see I'm done, right? So with this, oops, I can now submit it. And basically, this is where some of the fun starts. So let's say I am a part-time reporter for a news organization, and I'm out in the fan zone, and I'm recording the whole day videos. I probably might remember that I talked to Gabriella, but I might have forgotten that I also talked to Peter and John and George, and all these conversations. How do I remember exactly what they were telling me? Well, in comes the wonderful world of AI. So we're going to give this video a quick title. Let's call it also Gabriella. And then I have here the possibility to basically turn on the AI function. So what the AI function here will do, it will basically listen to the video and listen what the spoken word is. And on the basis of that, I can say, you know what, since we're doing a multi-country kind of thing or a multilingual kind of thing, let's do both languages. And I can do a social post when the text is a little bit shorter, or I can do a blog post. I want to do a blog post because what I'm doing now, I'm sending everything to a portal. And so the more information I send immediately tied to this, the better it is when I want to send it somewhere else. So we're doing that.
It's making a transcription.
It's listening. And then basically we are now going to be ready. Take a sip of your coffee.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
while it's being ready, I'm going to ask a quick question.
yes,
So this is being used right now. I mean, I know one of your use cases is news stations that are using this for their field people to send stuff back to the station.
yes.
Also, is it possible to set one of these up for like just your general like users to send you things, and then you would be able to use them on your station
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you can think of
or your brand?
you could think of a lot of varieties, right? I mean, we made some proposals to brands, right? I mean, to basically create their own content. Think again of the World Cup, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of people walking around, and there's going to be brands who will want to have content. They will want that content that they would never get. And if they,
Because you can't afford the tickets.
so you can't, no, well, you can't afford the tickets, but also what they cannot afford is to have expensive crews out there
Yeah.
who would record all of that. So now you get a lot of content that you would normally not get, right? So a brand can do this, but also a soccer club could do this. They can go out and now engage with their fans. The fans can send in reactions.
Parents, just putting that out there. I've been a parent of a soccer kid, so
So parents can obviously be content creators here, right? I mean, the parents are constantly along the field, and they might just basically grab that content. All that content goes up. What if then the local soccer club says, "Ha, now I can do nicely a sponsorship. Thank you very much, parents, for creating all that content. Because we do it in a structured way, I can now monetize it," right?
right.
So whether or not you are a league, a club, a brand, an organization, I mean, even the city of Houston could use this, right? I mean, so you think of an organization, everybody is in the content business these days. This gives you an enormous amount of, let's say, well-structured content that you can then use and send it back out, either just to your own site or to any network.
And right now it's working with Google folders, right? Is that how it's working at the
So
moment?
the Google folders that you saw is like an input option. So right now it does do output towards a WordPress plugin. It does output to another website plugin that we have created as well. So you can create very quickly a site where all your video comes in one place. Goes to YouTube, and we're working on an integration of Metricool, which is a
yes.
planning.
Tell them about that. That's really interesting. Tell them what Metricool is. I know what it is, but
So Metricool is a kind of a tool to plan all your social media. So you can basically put all your social media out for the whole week, the whole year actually, and then you can send it off to LinkedIn and I mean YouTube, all of them. And so basically that's going to be integrated into your story. So what that means, the content comes in. You want to check it most likely because you don't know what the fans are going to send, right? You can also do it without any kind of checking and send it on straight away, but we recommend that you do a little checking. And then once it's checked, I mean, you can send it with the Metricool integration straight to any kind of network.
And Metricool would be included with the monthly fee, so you don't have to get Metricool separate. Is that correct?
So in the beginning, we're testing now with Metricool, right, separate, but the idea is that it's going to be integrated.
That's really cool.
Yep.
How quickly is that? Like, I mean, these are all like timelines, of course.
So
that's on the roadmap.
So my dear European friends are working on that.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's going to be ready for this summer. I hope it is, because that would mean that all of that content goes to many more places. And then on the Google Drives, right? The Google Drive integration is basically, it's a content repository. So if you have a lot of content, so think of B-roll content. So you can park the B-roll content there, and then you can even take B-roll content and combine it with what you have recorded.
So if you have a lot of people, and I'll let you keep going on this. So do you want to move to the next one so you can?
So it's almost done. So
Yeah.
I'm now basically, I'm going to go choose here, publish.
I have a lot of questions.
Right, and then boom.
After that.
So are we good to go?
Okay. It says, oops, no, I think you had a.
Oh, I need to approve it.
Yes.
So I have approved it, and so there it goes. See, I do this without glasses, so.
Very good. Good job.
Yeah, and so now it's just.
I just wear glasses.
And so mine are here, but now
we have the lights so they won't shine on you.
Now you see, it's going to go do a couple of runs, right? I mean, so, and if you have multiple videos, it's going to go stitch it together. It's going to put your logo. It's going to put your pre-roll, and therefore, the more powerful your phone is, the faster this goes. So it depends largely also on your phone. And nowadays, I mean, we have 4K phones, right? I mean, everybody can produce fantastic video on their phone, and then boop, it goes to the cloud. And once it is in the cloud, it's going to be automatically on a website if you have that connected.
If you have it connected.
Yeah.
Now, a quick question for you as you've done this, which is great. Like, so if you're doing it with your social media team, your internal team, this seems very straightforward. What if you have, how do you get people to submit things to you? Is there like, where does that happen?
Very good question. So you do that ideally via QR codes, right? So we have made some proposals for people who do activities in multiple locations. And so we say, well, why don't you put a QR code literally on the wall, right? And people can scan it and then basically download the app and they get going, right? So younger people will probably go very quick. I mean, you went very quick, right? You needed no education. Some people might need a little bit of hand holding. But with a QR code, you get then immediately connected to a channel. And let's say you were to have 5 channels, different topics, different QR code. And so with a different QR code, you basically have maybe different pre-rolls, different post-roll, different color settings, and so on.
And that would be in your folder that you set up on your thing. So you can pull them in. Okay, cool. So the other question I had then is, if you have that QR code up there, what is this all costing? Like, does it cost the people that are sending you stuff? Like, how does it work?
So how it works is, and it's actually enormously cheap. I think it's actually too cheap. No, so basically, I mean, the people who upload don't pay, right? I mean, so you are basically a user and you're being invited. And so what tends to happen is that, let's say, a company, a brand, or an organization says, okay, I buy the platform. So you buy a seat on the platform. So one seat is $100 a month. So I don't think that's a lot of money for what it does. And then if you want to have additional reporters, the reporters are $9 a person. And then if you really want to have only contributors, they go for about $3, right? So if you do the math for big projects, so we did one proposal to pretty large client, and it's like, I mean, the math in total dwarfs by what they normally would charge.
Well, yeah, that's not enterprise prices. It's close, but and also it's free to download it. Like, I downloaded it, uploaded a bunch of videos, and you know, I don't know if it's connected, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and there's also a light version. So the light version is basically for very fast content upload. So that can be, I mean, if all you want is just content, right? I mean, you can use it for that. I mean, these are obviously intended to be really the ones that create the branding and the nice look and feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's as simple as a QR code, and then providing that the people with that QR code, and they can get started.
Well, and what I also saw in there, which was very important, I think, as far as we are concerned for marketers and communicators, you had to, why it went and uploaded, you had to approve the content before it went up. So you are getting permission to use that content right at that stage. So how are you getting your permissions?
So we get the permission from the user to use that content,
right? And
so that means that everybody who is getting content from the user, I mean, the user basically gives permission to the brand
by clicking on that button.
Yes.
Yeah. That's actually a really great way to get. So for example, if I'm like, I'm just going to put this out here, I'm a brand and I'm trying, and I see some really great content somebody made about me or my brand online. And I reached out to him and said, hey, can you, I'm giving you this link. Could you upload this here? And then, you know, I'll give you a coupon or whatever it is. That could go up and that would be a good way to get those rights worked out as well. Possibly.
I'm not sure if I completely followed you.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm going fast. But the idea is that, you know, we, as people are shaking their heads around the room because they know what I'm talking about. It's really hard to get these influencers to give you you know, there's people, users, regular users of your product. It's really hard to get them to give you their rights to that photo to use it. So a lot of people, our jobs are to go out and reach out to these different influencers and ask them for permission to use it on our channels. And you know, there's a whole thing that goes through, and then we have to send them a form and they have to sign it because we have to get rights. I mean, it sounds like this would
let them send it via YourStoryz, right?
Correct. And then they're just automatically saying, yes, you can use it.
You have to say yes. Yep.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Actually, very, very useful. Very, very useful. That could save us hours and hours of time, just so you know. For those of us who are marketing and PR. So anyway, cool. That's
And so
one
what
of the use
just
cases.
happened, right? So I think she's already here. So let me just refresh. And again, I
Oh,
do this
yes.
without glasses,
Mhm.
but here you see, right? I mean, she's there, Gabriella. She's
Yep.
already in the platform, ready to go. So it goes relatively fast, right? So our internet speeds are pretty good. Yes, the phone, I mean, is a little bit of a dependency. And again, the recommendation is don't do 3-hour videos, but do 1 minute, 2 minutes, quick stuff, short form content. And that's, I mean, the snackable video, so to speak.
Yeah, no, this is great. So questions along this line too. This is crowd journalism as well. So let me go back to the journalism thing, because I also think that's another important part of it. So if you have, if you work for the city or you work for the government or you do that kind of thing, this is also a great way to get information back to their channels as well, as about what, like for traffic, for example, like what's going on with traffic.
Yeah, no, so again, right, I mean, it depends on the organization that sets it up. I mean, you give a very interesting example. I mean, we are working with some folks who are basically doing news, right? And then the idea is, I mean, to have a lot of people, I mean, help with gathering the news, but that gathering news can also be gathering input, right? I mean, from the community, just around Houston. I'm sure there's lots of people who have ideas of giving input,
opinions.
Yeah, and this would be a very simple thing to do. I mean, just set it out and let people send in their comments.
Right? Or there are testimonials.
Testimonials is another one, right? So there is some people in this room here working on some testimonial projects where we would use your story for collecting testimonials on a certain theme, and that would go to a website where people then can see all these testimonials.
No, and that really, I do like that you have a WordPress plugin. That's very good. Is that the only website that this would work with right now?
So for now, that's the only one. Yeah. So and then we have another, let's say, what is it called? I cannot read it here. Statamic, or we have a simpler website content management system. So for very quick, let's say, short-term kind of website. So not the full WordPress kind of thing. So, but if you want, let's say, an integration with a full website, WordPress for now is the one.
Okay, that's good. So that would go automatically up, or once it goes to that WordPress website, you would be able to go, it would go into drafts. How does that work?
So basically, I mean, so you would want to check it right before it goes. So that is why you want to have it come to this portal and check the video before.
So why don't you do that for us? Show us how the check works.
So well, I can't do it on this one. Sorry.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
No, let me see.
Sorry.
So because I am connected to this one, so in my case everything goes on to here.
Right? Got it. So it goes into
so this is the because for this particular setup we're using this how do you call it, content management system.
Yes.
But you see here I have drafts.
Yes.
So to your point, right, I do need to publish it. I do need to check it.
And you do it the three. How do you do that?
And so if I want to do this one, which I know we're not going to publish because I know what's there.
Yeah.
It's me not looking good. So, but if I were to do this, right, I mean, all I have to do is just basically publish it. I put it in a category, and then it's good to go.
That's simple. Okay, yeah. So that's the plugin.
And so yeah,
we're
working with this this concept, right? I mean, so you'll hear more about it. I mean, we're working on a Houston soccer stories kind of website where, no surprise, we will have people out in the city connecting, collecting content, and then you might see crazy things like this, right? I mean, Dutchmen who are going to speak in front of a camera and who are going to say fantastic things about the city. And so the whole idea is that, I mean, with this simplistic setup, you can already be your own little mini media company by using YourStoryz as your, let's say, content input, and then this simple content management system to show it to the world.
No, I love it. Thank you. That's great. So again, it's easy, it's cheap, it's whatever. So the video matters to be your own reporter, because right now we all have to be our own reporters. We have to be our own media companies. And it's a lot of work, guys. I mean, you can see that they've thought a lot about this. I really appreciate what you've done. I want to open it up for questions and ideas and, use case ideas if you have them. Yeah, we're going to run this
And
around.
I'll tell you one funny one, right? Because I know you have some experience with news as well. So we were talking recently to somebody about, let's say, okay, doing a news kind of thing, and so everything comes in branded, right? What we are working on now also is that at the same time we have a parallel feed where that same content comes in non-branded. So that means you can start creating a repository of B-roll content that can potentially then be monetized to news agencies and so on.
A great presentation. I'm Tim Butts and do a podcast, and I'm curious how quickly, because you mentioned something about iterations, putting it on someone else's platform. How quickly versus what we currently do typically would this accelerate my ability to actually create a revenue stream? Is this something that upon me branding it, that I can take my content and start to realize it faster? Am I going to need to jump through more hoops or less hoops?
So not more hoops. I mean, if you're talking about, let's say, I mean, monetizing it, right? I think the monetization part here is that you can brand it, right? And so that means you can have sponsors basically paying for your content channel, right? And so that's one of the things obviously we're going to do with this one. We will have different categories of content, and there can be then different sponsors. So that, and then you can put banners. I mean, like with any website, I mean, that's the monetization. And then it depends on, I think the speed of monetization is going to depend on how fast can you convince people to sponsor you, right? But it's not the technology. I mean, this, you saw how quick Gabriela was there, right? I mean, she was there in a minute, so, or less.
Hello. My question is around, so say you have a group, a team that's working on something collaboratively, but it's different brands coming together to make similar, like conjoined content, if that makes sense. What would be the best way to?
Yeah, so
manage
if
that?
you're talking about, I mean, I'll try to answer it in maybe not exactly how you're asking it, right? I mean, if it's for collaborating on content, I mean, that does not exist in here, but you can collaborate obviously as multiple contributors into a channel, right? So you can have a ton of contributors. I mean, it's almost unlimited, right? By inviting more and more people who are going to contribute. Also, what we are doing, we have reseller setups, right? So where basically agencies can get the platform and they can put their clients in there, and they can work in the same platform with multiple clients, so you can see what is happening with all your clients, right? And so in one place you can work maybe on multiple of your accounts. You don't have to go to separate places, and you can work on that with your team inside YourStoryz.
I do have a question on that, because I do think that's really important, because a lot of times, you know, I have an agency. We have a social media marketing agency and marketing agency. And a lot of times for our clients, the hardest part for us is like, where are you going to send us your content? They'll send us like a Dropbox, or, you know, upload it to like Google Drive or whatever. And so this could be a very quick way to get stuff from your clients and it wouldn't have to have any of the branding. It's not like changing I mean, will it be still high quality? Like, will it still be 1080 or whatever? 4K.
Yeah, so I mean, it's ready for streaming, right? I don't know if it's doing any kind of compressing, but in terms of the uploading from your clients, right? If you don't want it with the pre and the post roll, I mean, you can turn it on and off, right? So you don't have to do it like that. So it could be a tool to basically collect all the content that is. And then you can take it from here, and then later on with the metrical implementation, you can start pushing it out, right? So
Can you also so they can hear? Can you also download it from the back end back down to your computer? Is that possible? We're going to find out.
there you go. So I think there's the word download somewhere there.
Yes,
So yes, you can.
Hi.
Yes. So you can gather content, branded or non-branded, and hopefully soon both simultaneously.
Hi, I'm Carla. I lead the social media department at a church that has 700 members. And I was thinking about what you're presenting here in the context of that. I think it could be a really interesting use case. So my question is about the journalist classification versus the creator, like the random the soccer mom who's just uploading. Can you speak a little bit about how those two profiles are different and how you can use them?
One is only uploading, and the other has, let's say, more possibility to be in the platform and to do certain additional tasks. So I mean, the one who has really all the keys to the kingdom is the main one. But for the, let's say, the cheaper ones, the lower ones, is just uploading.
Does anybody have any ideas that have come to their head and thinking about this? Yeah, why don't you tell us your ideas?
I'm curious about how the reseller pricing structure works.
Affiliate.
Okay.
Okay, so let me let you talk.
So for that, come to me and we'll talk about it, right? I mean, so we have obviously a discount for the resellers. So that's a standard discount. I mean, we don't have very complex structures there. So if you become a reseller, basically you sell at the list price to your client, right? Because that's on the website. I mean, if you want to mark it up, go ahead, fine. I mean, your client is going to see what the price is for the regular download. We will give a discount to the reseller. And so basically on the basis of what happens in the platform, you pay to YourStoryz the discounted price and you sell it to your client for the full price. Do you have a question?
Other ideas and thoughts? Because I'd love to hear your thoughts. You've been shaking your head. Do you have ideas that you would use this for?
100%. I mean, I work in the performing arts, and one of the areas that's really difficult for us is to capture audience reactions and testimonials, right? And not only that, but also getting permission. Especially sometimes I had a question about like getting minor approval. Sometimes, like, you know, you need the parent. So like if you're doing a education show and you're trying to get those reactions, this would be a great way to manage getting that content, but getting approval. That is a big problem for organizations, and getting legal to sign off on, you know, being able to use that content. But I could see it as just, you know, QR codes in the lobby area, encouraging people, maybe set up a couple of fun stations with you know, props, or to encourage that engagement even more and capture those unfiltered moments that happen when somebody's camera is not in your face, somebody else's camera is not in your face. So I see a lot of potential here.
I mean, I would say that, I don't know if you guys have it, because it does have that little thing. And if you, I don't know about parents, I didn't see that, but these are the developers. So I'm assuming that you could probably get them to add that check mark. I mean, I suspect they'd be very interested in a contract with you, but for that reason. But you know, Joel, I'm so truly, you know, the arts is a great way to use this, because you guys are always trying to get people to like take pictures in the lobby. That's just a big thing at the hobby center. So anyway, what do you think? Do you think that how are the developers? How easy is it to work with your developers? Let's talk about that.
Yep. Well, I just gave you earlier an example of a conversation that we were having with a client on, like, okay, news gathering, right? And from that conversation, we started thinking, hey, wait a minute, maybe we need to have a parallel stream, right? And so that happened. I mean, the conversation happened, let's say, within an hour. And now the development process has started, right? So I think that the nice thing is that this is, I mean, the company behind it is totally a software development group, right? I mean, they're very creative. And so if there are certain things and certain ideas and they make sense, let's talk about it, right? I mean, this is a new product, so it can always use input in order to become better. So not a problem there. Now, whether or not it is all feasible, I mean, it's a whole other thing, right? But I mean, this is not like some kind of stiff group of people who say, hey, this is it, and this is how you need to take it. Engage with us, and then we see what's possible.
Okay, I want to one more thing, because that just brought me to another question or another thought. Tell me the stories about YourStoryz. Like, who are these people? Where did they come from? How long has this company been in business? Give me a little bit more information about YourStoryz and kind of how you got involved with them.
Well, so YourStoryz is very interesting because it's a collaboration between Germans and Dutch. And that doesn't happen very often. No, it's a joke. I mean, it happens a lot, but it's sort of like one of those traditional rivalries. No, so the two people who put this together, one comes from the broadcast business, comes from the newsroom, and the other one comes from the software development side with a heavy component on digital marketing. And so they started talking to each other, and they came with this idea, right? Basically, seeing the problem that I mean, collecting news, right, is a challenge. And so that's how they started. I met the company at the Consumer Electronics Show. My background is consumer electronics and a passion for online video. And I saw this, so I started talking with John, and John is now one of my buddies because we talk almost every other day and see how we can conquer souls for YourStoryz. But the company is, I mean, the companies are much older, but the product itself is about 2 years old right now. And so it's heavily concentrated in Europe because there it's coming from. And basically what I did is I started saying, hey, you need to come to the United States. And since that is my normal job, bring European companies to the United States. That's one of the things I'm working on for YourStoryz, to see how we can get, I don't know, the Dynamo, or who knows, the MLS, or any of those kind of organizations on platforms like this, right? So lots of nice challenges here.
Yeah, it definitely solves some problems, and yeah, I'm glad the Germans and the Dutch got together. It's awesome. My husband's a Belgian, so he sits between the two of them, and they just like let them lob bombs between them. Yeah, so that's great. And is there any other questions or thoughts? Or yeah, we got one more.
So I specialize in employee and internal communications, and so some of my clients are digital teams that manage branded content that's posted both internally and externally. So we talked about the integrations and the uploads to the external channels like Instagram and TikTok and all of that. But are there plans for integrating to intranets or third-party intranets that some of my clients might be posting some of that other content? And I'm also thinking about a lot of my clients that have frontline operations. They're 70 factories across the country. This is a great way to get content from all these remote destinations and share those stories.
So I would almost say the same as the gentleman over there, right? I mean, so those kind of conversations, let's have them, because making a connection from, let's say, one digital place to another digital place most of the time is not too difficult, right? Called APIs. And so if we can make those kind of connections, I mean, where you send the content is then a question of defining that. And our internal channels an opportunity? Absolutely. Absolutely.
The more that I listen to this, I'm very curious about a direct-to-consumer channel, right? The idea of cutting through social media noise, right? If there are good content strategists, right? Folks who are specialists at telling the story, right? And putting together a format for how my particular brand, if I'm going to make an I statement, if my specific brand wants to tell a very specific story and I'm not interested in following the rules and the guidelines that social media gives, right? I don't want to deal with the noise. I don't want to deal with the expectations. I would like to just create a direct to consumer channel and allow my storytelling strategists to handle that and just collaborate. I'm curious how that could play here.
Well, it could play very easily. I mean, you saw what I was doing, right? I mean, I loaded Gabriella to HoustonSoccerStories.com. I mean, sorry, I'm going to say it in French, right? Screw YouTube, screw TikTok, screw all these guys. Not really. I mean, it's right. So I have been working with DJs, and on Spotify it's the same thing, right? I mean, if you feed your content to all these great platforms, fantastic. But it's going to take quite a while before you can monetize it. Plus, you can be flagged, I mean, on your music, on whatever. So if you are on your own place, right, then you control everything. You control the experience, you control the content. Now, of course, you have to abide by the law and the rules. But if you want to play Michael Jackson on your website, I think you can play Michael Jackson on your website. Whether or not that's 100% legal, but you won't be flagged, right? I mean, if you do that on YouTube, I mean, they might tone you down. It's maybe not 100% correct. Yes.
Business.
Yeah.
And I could do that as my own business and make sure that I clear the rights myself. Yeah, that's clear.
So a question on that is because you're putting a plugin on a WordPress website, you could also make it password protected. Do you see what I'm saying? So then you have basically your own thing.
And so there is another integration in the works. I mean, it's not 100% ready yet, but we are talking to another company that would do the whole distribution to Samsung, Apple TV, whatever, all those kind of things. And then suddenly you can put the whole enchilada of monetization models on top of it, right? I mean, subscription, pay-per-view, and you name it. I mean, that is, and I think you could probably even do some of that in your WordPress site, right? I mean, so again, I would recommend every content creator always have your own destiny, put your own destiny first, and the rest second, right? Because you make your money on your own destiny. You got it.
He brought me back the mic. So yeah, that's great. And you know, I really appreciate that you coming and talking to us today. So I'm going to kind of like wind it down now because I want you guys to also interact with each other here today. So I would love for you guys to make some short form videos with each other today, like ask questions, put some stuff out there, tag Social Media Breakfast, SMBHOU on all the channels. I'm going to probably set up something like this. We've been talking about this for a while. Today I did not have it set up yet, but I think I'm going to have a folder where you can do this. And we might use YourStoryz. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
But YourStoryz. But the idea is that we need to share our content in a way that's very impactful and that we can bring that in. And I love that we can get the permissions on there. That's really important to me. And I hope it is to you guys too. So make sure you turn to the person beside you, tell them how you might use short form video in your strategy. And we have about 15 minutes to do that. So for those of you who are online, we're going to jump off. We will be here next month on the second Friday of next month as well. Be watching smbhou.com for our information about that. So much going on, and we'll have maybe a lot of soccer fans around by then.
Well, and I'll give you one tip for creating soccer-related content.
Oh yes, let's do that while we're here.
So tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and for those of you who love soccer, there is a free match from Houston Dynamo going on. So you can create some content there. So.
Yay. I love that so much. And by the way, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Love you all.
Thank you.